Hi, my name is Nan, and today I will be showing you the public and scorecard reports sections under the Outcomes tab of the Techsim simulation. So the first thing we're going to look at is the public reports section. And here we have the tables and graphs that are available for all the teams to view. So any information that one team is able to view under each of these sections, any other team could view the same exact information. So the first thing we're going to look at is the balance sheet. And so under balance sheet, we have information for the three teams, Alpha 1, Beta 1, and Charlie 1, that are taking part in this current session. And if you look, you can see the numbers are actually the same for each team, and that is because this specific session is a trial session in which none of the decisions were changed between any of the teams. So anyways, under balance sheet, you can view the assets, liabilities, and equities of each of the three teams. And they're broken down into other smaller areas like the debts and stocks and inventories. So the next section we're going to look at is the income statement section. And here it is a similar table to the last one. We have the three teams again. And here, though, we are able to see the revenue, the COGS, total operating expenses, operating profit, profit before taxes, net income, EPS, and stock price. So the next thing we're going to look at is best of breed. And here we have a scale in which the technology features are rated, and the feature index is on a scale of 1 to 10. So we have the power base, which is the base actually product, which is the most common product the company sells. And then we have power Q, which is a little bit more higher in technology. And then we have the power V, which is the product that is being developed and is more for the future. So if you look at the feature index, you can see that it makes sense that for the medium and large sizes of the power base product, the feature index is rather low. And this is because this is the more standard product. So 2.8 and 2.7 out of 10 is the index. For Power Q, we have a much higher rating. It is 8.8 and 8.2 out of 10. And this is because this is the newer technology. And so you can see the feature index for the technology is much higher. And then lastly, we have Power V. And for this is still being developed, which is why for this specific technology, although for the medium size, the feature index is very high, for the large, it is not as high. And because this is still being developed, it would need to have some more money put into it before this index could get a little bit higher. So the next thing we're looking at is best of breed price. And here we are looking at something similar to the last section, except for this, we're looking at price. And so you can see it is looking at the price between the three different channels that the product is being sold under. So the first one is general merchandise, and then we have specialty, and then we have discount. So we can see the minimum and maximum prices for the medium and large sizes. Although, like I said, the prices were not changed, so there it hasn't been any change in prices throughout the rounds. But as you can see for the power base version, the lowest price is the discount price, which is 413, and the highest price is the specialty price, which is for 448. For the large size, lowest price is 626, and the highest price is 678. And then here we have Power Q, and this is the higher technological version. So the discount price is much higher than that of the standard version. It is at $1,830, and the specialty price is, which is the highest price, is $2,026. And then for the large size, the discount price is $2,495, and the specialty price is $2,763. And then for the future version, it is a bit lower than the Power Q, the other version, but like I said, this is still being developed, which is probably the reason that for the medium size it is a little bit lower, although for the large size the price is much higher. The last thing in public reports is market share. And here we actually have graphs and tables. So this shows the market share for each team. And like I said, because we have not changed any of the values, they're all going to be at 33.3%, having 1/3 of the market. And it's going to be the same by product and by technology. But I wanted to show you, you can actually see, instead of viewing a graph, if you like, you can switch to table, and it shows the market share by year, which is the same as the graph, but this just shows it as a table. And it's the same thing for all of these. You could view it in whichever form you like. And then we're going to look at scorecard reports. And under that is the balance scorecard. And this just gives you the current status of certain things in your company. So things like learning and growth perspective, employee satisfaction depends on things like the price or the salary that you're paying your employees. So as of now, it is 0.88 out of a total of 1. Skill level depends on the type of skills that you are teaching your employees. You could spend more money on higher skills or lower skills depending on how much you want to invest in that. You have average turnover percentage, and then you have employee productivity, which both also are determined by your decisions. You have internal perspective. You can see the market demand per unit. You could see value of scrap produced, total inventory, and total shipment. And these also are dependent on the decisions that you've made. Then you can see financial perspective, which has all the total revenue, profit, gross profit, total COGS, ending cash, and then you have customer perspective, which has overall market share, overall brand recognition.